Most companies are flying blind when it comes to their competitors. They check a rival's website every few months, maybe glance at their social media and call it competitive research. That's not analysis. That's hoping you'll notice when something important changes. Real competitive analysis answers 4 questions. Who's getting attention? How do people feel about them? What's shifting in the conversation? And where does that create an opening for you? Let's look at what that actually looks like in practice. XTB, a trading platform, notices that customers were reacting negatively to a change a competitor has made to their stock investment offering. They didn't file it away as an interesting data point. They saw it for what it was, an opening. XTB already had the stronger offer in the moment, so they launched a targeted campaign and leaned into it hard. That's competitive analysis working the way it's supposed to. You spot a shift in sentiment before it shows up in anyone's quarterly report, and you move fast enough to take advantage of it. Traffit took a different angle. Instead of just watching what people said about competitors, they tracked competitors' keywords and subdomains to identify companies already using similar tools. Then they reached out. At exactly the right moment, their old cold calling approach converted 2% of calls into actual sales conversations. A lead sourced this way hit a 30% engagement rate. Same team, same product, completely different timing. These aren't one-off wins, they follow a repeatable pattern. Who's getting attention right now? Not 6 months ago, right now. Visibility shifts constantly, and the brand dominating the conversation today may not be the same one that was dominating it last week or last quarter. How do people actually feel about them? Volume of mentions tells you who's loud. Sentiment tells you whether that's a good thing. A competitor getting hammered in the press is a very different situation from one that's riding a wave of genuine enthusiasm. What's changing? A sudden spike in mentions, a shift in tone, a new topic entering the conversation. These are signals. Most companies miss them because they are not watching in real time. Where does it create an opening? This is the question the first 3 are building toward. The XTB team found their opening in a competitor's product change. Traffit found theirs in a gap between when a company adapts at all and when a competitor gets to them. Every market has these moments. The question is whether you're positioned to see them. This is where Brand24 comes in. Not as a replacement for the thinking above, but as the infrastructure that makes it possible to do consistently. Here's what the actual workflow looks like. Start by setting up projects for each competitor you're tracking. Brand24 pulls mentions from 25 million sources, social media, news sites, blogs, forums, videos, podcasts, reviews platforms, so you're not manually checking each one. You get everything in a single feed. Once that's running, your weekly starting point is AI Insights. It surfaces a summary of what happened across all your tracked competitors, who gained mention, where sentiment shifted, what topics entered or left the conversation. You're not reading hundreds of posts, you're reading a digest that tells you what actually moved. When something in that summary stands out, say a competitor's sentiment dropping sharply, that's your cue to dig in. Open their mention feed, look at what people are saying, and figure out whether it's a one-off or a trend. For day-to-day monitoring, the AI events handle the surveillance work. When there's an unusual spike in mentions or reach, it flags it and points to the likely cause: a viral post, a PR issue, a product launch. You don't have to catch it yourself, you just have to respond when it surfaces. When you want to understand a specific situation quickly, Brand Assistant lets you ask direct questions. Why did this competitor's mention triple last week? And get an answer based on the actual data, not a generic summary. And when you need to compare your position directly, the comparison tab puts your brand and your competitors side by side. Who gets mentioned more, who has stronger sentiment, who's building momentum. That's where you spot the gaps, both the ones you need to close and the ones you can exploit. None of this matters if the insights stay in one person dashboard. Brand24 lets you export PDF reports, share live views via quick share links, or pull data into Excel. So when the AI events flag something worth acting on, you can get the context in front of your marketing, sales, or leadership team immediately, not in next month's deck. Competitive analysis doesn't have to be a quarterly exercise that produces a slide nobody replies. With the right setup, it becomes a live feed for your team, and they actually check it and act on. That's the shift, and that's what Brand24 makes possible.